Poducer.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Poducer, the podcast for producers. Today we're joined by Shrimpnose.
Yo, what's up, guys?
All right, I'm gonna do this intro.
Cool.
And tell me if this is accurate. Shrimpnose is a Minneapolis-born, Los Angeles-based producer known for crafting deeply emotive, texture-rich beats that blur the lines between lo-fi, electronic, and post-dubstep. A former drummer with roots in metal, his music is a mix of nostalgia, imperfection, and raw emotion, often infused with live instrumentation, analog warmth, and personal stories of loss and growth. He's worked with legends like Blue, Blockhead, and Ryan Hemsworth, while carving out his own lane with projects like A Ghost from a Memory and As It Seems. Whether recording found sounds from his hometown or experimenting with tape machines in LA, Shrimpnose is an artist who thrives on pushing boundaries while keeping his music deeply personal.
That's very flattering and also factually accurate, I would say.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
My research has done me well.
Yeah,
I don't normally do intros, so that was kind of like a mouthful.
that was a good one.
Do we chat or people in comments? Let us know if you like an intro.
Chad, is this real?
Yeah. Why Shrimpnose, dude?
Oh, dude, it's such a funny, weird, like kind of disappointing story.
It's okay. No, mostly name stories are disappointing.
Yeah. So my friend Brandon from high school, he was just always like a pretty eccentric guy. It was right when I was starting to learn how to produce. I was recording him just like being weird on the mic to maybe get a little clip of something to put in a song. And out of nowhere, he screams, "Shrimpnose!" It was actually John Shrimpnose. And I went by John Shrimpnose for like a year or two. And then I cut the John off, and now it's just Shrimpnose. It doesn't mean a thing. You know?
It's just fun. Yeah. Shrimps do have weird noses, if that even is what they use to smell. Like, I know they got like antennas.
Can they even smell?
Yeah, I don't even know. Chad. Yo, Chad.
Check.
Sometimes we have a guy. We got to get the guy here more often. I'm going to make that a pledge to you guys. But yeah, I mean, shrimps. I don't want to go down that tangent.
Hold on.
Hold on. Shrimps. They can see in like ultraviolet and some shrimps.
True.
Have you seen the pistol shrimp?
Yes, the punching shrimp.
It's kind of like a punch.
Yeah.
It like has its claw and then it creates like an air bubble and it closes it so quickly that like under an infrared camera it becomes like molten hot, and it just does that next to things and just like kills.
Oh my god.
Just shoots other fish and stuff. It's pretty gangster.
There's also the mantis shrimp that has the hardest punch in the animal kingdom.
Bro.
Like, granted how small it is, you know.
Yeah, for size.
Yeah.
That's like when they say your tongue is your strongest muscle in your body.
It's like, is it really though?
Yeah, it's like kind of. But shrimp are cool, man. I think you chose a good animal.
Thanks, dude.
Just for my own opinion.
Thanks.
Yeah. No problem. Yo, what's up, guys? We're excited to announce that we're partnering with the Chicago Electronic Music Conference. We're giving away a pair of tickets to this year's event on April 26th in Chicago at the Romava Theater. CEMC is a day focused on the electronic music industry, featuring panels, workshops, and networking opportunities with artists, producers, and industry professionals. To enter the giveaway, fill out the form in the description and make sure to follow all of the instructions, because if you don't, you're not going to be qualified to win. So, yeah. Winners will be selected soon. We'll send you an email about that, and I wish you the best of luck. All right, guys, let's get into today's episode. So we always do first concert also, and it's not like the first concert you played, but like, what was the first show you went to?
Oh, this is a funny one. Metallica, Lamb of God, Gojira at the Target Center in Minneapolis, 2009. I think I was like 14 or something. I was a big like metalhead for many years. I didn't like electronic stuff whatsoever until I was like 18. I was like a snob.
What do you think the connection is between metal and electronic music? Because I swear, it's like every person's like, yeah, I used to listen to metal. I used to listen to like hardcore.
It's kind of weird because like I don't make super like aggressive electronic stuff. I think part of it though is that metal, part of what made me like it so much is that it's very like emotive, you know, it's very like viscerally emotional
Right.
music. And you know, I don't know, I found that in electronic stuff too, I guess.
Okay, one thing I wanted to just talk about out the gate was that, you know, you noted that a big influence of yours was like Flying Lotus and like the low end theory stuff.
Yes.
And, you know, a big thing for you, or part of your path, was moving to LA and then also playing one of the later low end theory shows.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what was that like getting in and, you know, being able to watch that maybe on your computer, you know, back in Minnesota, and then being there and then playing it? Like, how did that feel?
It was such a crazy full circle kind of thing, you know. It was in 2018, I think, 17, 18, something like that. And yeah, I don't know, I grew up on YouTube watching the KEXP set from Daedalus and Baths, watching everything I could find on Flying Lotus, Shlomo, just the whole scene, you know. And to be there at the place where that whole scene like kind of came up and formed, I guess, was very personally gratifying for sure. And in Minneapolis, the electronic scene at the time was super limited. There was only a couple venues and a couple promotion companies, and you know, not many producers even lived there. And if the ones that did were into like old school hip hop kind of stuff, so in a way, I kind of felt like I had to leave. I love it there, obviously, and it's gotten a lot better now. The scene there is actually pretty great now. But yeah, it was a pretty great opportunity. Shout out to Dome of Doom. I did a release with them, and that's kind of like what got me in there. Wiley, the owner of the label, worked closely with them, and he kind of put in a good word for me. And yeah.
Do you enjoy being in LA?
I love it. Everybody talks shit about LA. I love it.
Good. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I just, you know, you're right. Everyone does talk shit about it. If you said no, I would have been like, dude, fuck that place. No, I'm just kidding.
The reason people talk shit about it is because they go there and they try to go to all the restaurants they see on Instagram that are, you know what I mean, trendy.
Hit that Nobu or
Don't
whatever.
do any of that shit. Go and spend $10 on tacos at a stand and go on a walk. You know, that's how you enjoy LA, in my opinion. It's a good place to work too, to like just be at home and get work done.
Because it's like just sunny and dude, I mean, it seems sick. I mean, I've been there and I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it'd be fun to maybe like listen to some music to give people a little taster. Cool. We didn't really talk about any of the tracks you wanted to feature beforehand, but if there was one that would just be like a good intro, maybe just like a popular track or a track that you just feel like maybe you're resonating with right now.
There's one track that people seem to be connecting to over and over again over the years. It's called Cherish.
Is that on Spotify?
It is, yeah. Somebody told me that they met their partner through that. Their partner is like a yoga instructor, and they went to their yoga class and the song was playing and they were like, what song is this? And then that's how they started dating.
Word, dude. Connecting people like that. Is this the one that's like, it's like really lo-fi?
Super duper, yeah.
Okay.
Most of my stuff isn't like this anymore, but I'm still proud of, I kind of hate lo-fi, But this song I still really impressed.
So this one, oh wow, it's dude. The number of it right now, if I'm reading this correct, it's first of all, it's 6 million streams, which is amazing. Congrats on that.
Thanks, dude.
But it's like 666
Whoa.
060. So like you're gonna be close to like a lot of sixes. Yeah. Maybe screenshot that's coming.
Yeah. Tomorrow maybe.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, we could. Yeah, soon. All right, let's run this one. Then we can get into lo-fi. I get it.
Yeah.
Actually, before I forget, I had a friend. His name's Palpa. He put out like a kind of lo-fi track, and he was like, and it wasn't like, oh, this is my best track, but just found the algorithm on Spotify and just went crazy.
Yeah.
And I feel like Spotify for lo-fi is big.
Yeah, definitely. It was more so a couple years ago. It's kind of weird. They're always changing their staff, so you never know who's like when they're hip to the same people, and it's just like a roll of the dice kind of.
I will say lo-fi kind of has like stayed and been at least converted into like beats to study too.
Yeah,
like if you get in one of those playlists, like it could be good. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. We're gonna play this. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I listened to this one. I thought it was cool.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, it's just like vibe out. Like this is like that song that plays like after you like subtly achieved a goal and you're just like proud of yourself, but it's not like you like won or like finished a marathon. It's just like you're like I did a good job.
Yeah.
I did a good job on that. I tried my best.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna fade this one out. But yeah, that one's real nice and cozy.
Thanks, man.
So you do a lot of different things with your music. Like you have a lot of live instrumentation. There's a lot of different sounds going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we can go back to like a little origin. What'd you start with? And what are all the instruments you play?
So I started with drums. My dad got me a drum kit when I was like 4 years old. And for a couple of years, I just kind of banged around and didn't know what I was doing. I took lessons for a couple of years. And then in middle school, I kind of took it more seriously. I learned every Metallica song on the drums. At least at the time, you know. I was just like a ravenous fan. I was in the fan club. It was a whole thing. But that got me a lot better at playing instruments. And then I taught myself how to play bass and guitar. I'm left-handed and I actually play upside down, which is super untraditional. Usually you would get either a lefty guitar or string it backwards, but I just play it upside down. It's just
you play the guitar upside down.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A couple, trying to think who the most notable player is that does that. There's a lot of blues players that play like that. Like Albert King is probably the most notable one. But
I never even thought about that as an option.
Yeah, it's if you go to get lessons, they will tell you not to do that. Like I tried to take bass lessons for a little bit, and the guy was like, "I can't teach you really,"
because you've already learned this obscure way.
Yeah,
interesting. Okay,
it makes for like different chord shapes. Like I have a more, I feel like I have an interesting relationship with the lower strings because it's easier to fret them for me. Like most guitar players play more intricate stuff on the higher strings, but it's easier to do more intricate things on the lower strings for me. So You know what I mean? It kind of makes for
a little funky bass line.
Yeah. Something like that. Then beyond that, I kind of just play whatever I can get my hands on, not that well. You know, piano, I'm whatever at little weird instruments. Yeah, whatever.
Little banjo action or something. I feel like there's like a folky element to your music as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I have something. So weirdly enough, I couldn't play a banjo if I tried because there's a peg on the bottom side of the neck that I couldn't. It would get in the way of my hand. So I got something called a banjitar, which is basically a banjo but strung like a guitar. So it has 6 strings as opposed to 5, and it doesn't have the weird peg on the side. So it's just like a guitar, but it sounds like a banjo, basically.
Interesting.
It's my little like cheat way of playing banjo.
Dude, that's whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Okay. You know, one thing I read that was interesting, not to like, you know, bring up things that are emotional or whatever,
That's
but
fine.
I saw that, you know, as it seems, I think, and a ghost from a memory were both based on a loss.
Yeah. So,
Or different losses.
yeah.
Right?
So, I used to be in a rap group called Cram. I didn't rap. I was the like producer, DJ guy. And in 2019, our like group leader, his name was Ty P. He passed away. And that kind of like fractured our group. We're still friends. I live with one of the members. You know what I mean? It's not like we had a falling out or anything, but he was just like the glue for the band. It was the whole band was his idea in the first place. He was the reason it worked. So yeah, he helped me a lot. He stood up for me when my speech has been worse or better at times, and at times when it was worse, he stood up for me when somebody would say something snide or, you know what I mean, say something rude, and he really helped me develop my confidence in that way. And yeah, sorry.
Dude, you're fine, man.
Yeah, I miss him a lot.
And no, you're good, man. I don't mean to just bring stuff up to upset you. Does making the music help you? In what way does it help? You know, is it like help you deal with it? Does it help you, you know, like make an ode to them?
Kind of both, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a song on A Ghost from a Memory called So Long For Now, and I made that right after our bandmate J-Lap Jordan called me and told me what happens. And I lived in LA at the time, and everybody else was in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of just like alone in my room, and I just kind of had to do something. You know, I didn't really have a way to process it other than that at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I wanted to make that album, and kind of just my whole career is like an ode to him, and like a way to honor him and like prove to him that I could do it, kind of.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I feel that, man. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that. And I feel like doing these things, like making songs, creating art like that, like I have a couple tattoos. Like I believe that my tattoos, like going forward, will just basically only be for people who have passed away, and because that's what all of mine are for right now. Mm-hmm. It's just like a way to remember them. I don't know. I feel like the art can help.
Oh,
right.
Probably the most helpful thing that we have as a species, honestly.
Yeah. For connecting, for letting go, for all of that. Yeah, man. So this newest album, is there anything going on there? What's the intentionality there?
So The World Pushed Against You is like kind of my like existential I hate calling it like a think piece. It seems like such a stupid.
No, I like it. But that drew me in.
It's like for everybody, there's like their internal experience and the external experience, and life is where they meet, right? So it's like the world pushed against you, kind of, in a way. And I don't know. I always come up with names after the album's done, so it's not like I like try to
make it like a concept album. Yeah,
I just can't do that. Yeah. But after it's made, I can like kind of sift through it and find the concept that was maybe there subconsciously.
Yeah. Like, what was I thinking about when I was making this? Yeah. I heard someone talking about this, that it's like, do you live behind your eyes or in front of your eyes? And I thought that was, I don't even know what he was fully saying. Like, people that live in front of their eyes, I guess, are like confident and like are just like kind of living their life a little bit more. Whereas if you're like constantly thinking about stuff and not like, putting that out there, then that would be living behind your eyes. But I like this idea of like where they meet.
That's what life is,
Yeah.
You can have your internal experience and your external, but without each other, they're both nothing, kind of,
Yeah, the interplay, but because if you're just all thought and you don't do anything. Yeah. No, I feel that. A lot of artists too are in their head. Like I had a New Year's resolution. I think I said this on my last podcast, that like was to think less and just do more. So I guess we would be living on the other side of that a little bit more.
I need to do that too more. Honestly.
Yeah, because sometimes you just gotta fucking do it. Fucking Nike, just do it, dude. Let's listen to something off this album real quick. Any of these? Well, you made them, so they probably speak to you. But anything you'd like to showcase on here?
River Still Runs. So I'll preface it. The rest of the album is like dancey. River Still Runs there's no drums on it, but just the vibe of it is really nice, and it kind of like it's the first song, so it kind of sets the tone for the rest of it. It's short too. It's an easy listen. I don't know.
Let's run it. Yeah, dude, this shit's just like pretty. It makes me want to just like sit in a tall grass with like just like look up at the sky.
Midwest summertime.
Yeah. That's the Midwest in me. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Like, how do you typically approach collaboration with people? Like, do you seek out certain people? Is it like you're homies with people and then it just kind of naturally comes?
Kind of both. I get a lot of joy out of just working with my close friends, and I try to prioritize that. I've toured with a handful of people that are now my friends, and I feel like that's easy to make happen whenever. You know what I mean?
You share something with them.
We hang out for a couple weeks.
They see you go on stage. They go on stage. There's a mutual respect.
Yeah. Gold Panda and Daedelus, who are both on this album, are two artists who I just worshipped growing up.
Dude, Gold Panda, when I saw that on there, I was kind of like, whoa. I forgot, that song, You.
Oh.
You.
So good, dude.
That was a blast from the past for me, kind of that blog era almost of music that I was like, oh yeah,
throwback. That's the best era of like chill electronic stuff, in my opinion.
It's so good.
Yeah.
What is being on like a tour or working with guys like Daedelus or Gold Panda like? Anything special? Did you guys work in like their studio? Or are they like any memories, fond memories?
So Daedalus, they I think the first time we like worked on something, they came to my house in LA in 2019 or 18. Yeah, 18. I had just moved there. And I was working off a Bluetooth speaker. And they brought this really cool 5-string guitar that was tuned all crazy. I still don't know what tuning it was in. And just like ripped some amazing chords and made the song. And we're like, all right, I'm out of here. It was just all came together so easily. And I feel like that, like, it should be easy like that. You know, like if it's a whole big headache and it's like, can we revise this and that? And it's just, should be easy, I think, at the end of the day. Gold Panda, I toured with last year, 2020, whatever it is, 3. We're in 5, but it was like late 2023.
Okay.
And yeah, we had never met before, and I honestly just reached out to his management as like a huge fan. I was like, I fucking love his music. Please. And it came together. And he's such a sweet guy. He is just really great. And yeah, getting to play with him every night for a week or 2 or whatever it was really personally very gratifying. And yeah, likewise, he sent me some stems, and I kind of like took over the collab. I feel like I probably like strong-armed it a little bit. I like did a lot on the and I like sent it back to him. He was like, yeah, sounds good. Like,
yeah, it's done.
It's done. Like, okay. I did take his loop and make it like a 7-minute song. Right? It's definitely my longest song. I was so excited that I just wanted it to be like the best thing I've ever made, so I just kept going and going.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your host, Jerry, again. I really hope that you're enjoying today's episode. I know that I enjoyed having the conversation. Just gotta be that squeaky wheel here and let you guys know to please go subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment. Honestly, the 5-star reviews on the podcast platforms, that's big too, because otherwise it just doesn't get promoted, and it's, we're fighting that upward battle, that uphill battle. But yeah, I know you're just thinking in your head like, Jerry, can we get back to the episode? Yes, we can. All right. And if you had to make an entire album using just one piece of gear or software, what would you choose? And we're gonna say for the software part, you can't just choose like a DAW. Like you can get a DAW.
Right.
I'll give you a DAW.
Honestly, probably just an acoustic guitar. I have like a project that's basically just acoustic stuff that I'm kind of like figuring out and working on right now.
Is that that's the next? Do you have multiple projects kind of looming?
There's like 3 things that are kind of, I'm sifting through it right now. But yeah, I love acoustic guitar. I try to play for at least a couple hours a day. So emotive, for me at least, it's just, I feel like my ideas translate the best through that. And then I can, if I am allowed to use Ableton, I can sample it and reverse it and do this and that with it. But yeah,
there is something just like wholesome about it.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Do you ever get into like the classical guitar, like the nylon string? Do you like that? That's a different sound.
Yeah. I put some nylons on a guitar of mine. It's not a classical guitar that I put them on, so it goes out of tune pretty easily. But I did put some nylons on a guitar of mine, and I just love the nice, like, warm, muted kind of sound it gives it.
Do you play with a pick ever, or do you?
So rarely.
Yeah.
So very. If I need to like strum on it, just like use my fingernail kind of.
Yeah. I feel like, so I started learning electric guitar. I just had an electric guitar, and during the pandemic, and like everyone was like, "Oh, dude, you should learn with a pick." And I was like, "I don't know, but I like the sound without the pick."
Yeah.
But I kind of understand 'cause it's like a slightly different skill.
Depends on what you're going for, but there are plenty of players that prefer not to use a pick at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I bite my nails too, just for the audience, so you can check them out.
Chat.
Yeah, check them. But I would like never be able to grow a long nail that could like be like a pick.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, yeah, I gotta get that.
Mine aren't long. I'm definitely also kind of anal about my nails not being too long. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't have to be long. You can kind of just like get the angle right.
That's true. But then you see some people that they got like
daggers.
Yeah, and they're just like doing like crazy like flamenco guitar, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I definitely can't do that.
No, yeah. Your stuff seems it's a little bit slower.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly. For the most part, I mean, from what I've heard, putting your vocals in tracks, does that like was that early on when you first started doing it? Did it make you nervous?
I avoided it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought my voice was terrible. I still don't love my voice, but I'm confident enough that I can like hold a note now. It just took like me trying shit over and over and over again until I kind of like figured out how to use my voice in a way that I like. And yeah, I have like many mostly unreleased, but some are out, many like songs where I'm like singing actual songs now. But yeah, it's scary at first for sure. It's like a whole different muscle. It's like a different part of you that you're really putting out for, especially if there's lyrics. It's like your thoughts are right there on the page and everybody like can decipher exactly what you were thinking rather than kind of formulating their own opinion.
Do you feel like that's made you like a better artist in the sense that there's another medium, like you can pack more information into the song?
I would say so, yeah. When I feel like it's necessary, I can get a message across a little easier now with lyrics.
Yeah. Was there ever an urge to like overproduce your vocals or like maybe muffle them to like...
Totally. Yeah, I still struggle with that a little bit. They'll usually be... Whenever I send a song to somebody, they're like, turn your vocals up.
That's like pretty common that people are like, oh yeah. Or it's the other way around. They're like, yo, crank them. What they're so low. And you're like, dude, that's like the song now is the vocals.
Right. Yeah. I'll like... I need to get better about that. I'll do like 3 takes on top of each other, and it just ends up being like a swirly mess kind of sometimes.
You feel like you do that to hide the imperfections? Like, because you can just put a bunch of takes on top of each other and it kind of just... Are you saying that you shouldn't do that?
I think you should do whatever you want.
Right.
But I do have a habit of doing that. Just because I'm like self-conscious about it, I guess, at the end of the day.
I mean, dude, it's like a technique, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. I will say though, I have a song that's unreleased where there's it's just one take right in the middle. You can hear what I'm saying, the vocals are loud, and it's like my best vocal song, you know? It's
not out yet?
Not out yet.
Soon to be out?
Next year, at some point.
Okay, cool.
Sometime the next year.
Yeah. This kind of came together just for people, for some extra context. This came together kind of quickly, but I wish we could listen to it just as like a work in progress.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it going. I've never written this many questions for an interview, so I'm kind of like, let's try them out. Nice. I did some different stuff for this. What do you think makes a song timeless versus just a moment in time? And also, I'll add one thing. Do you feel like music needs to be timeless, like every time?
Not every time. I think it being genuine is the thing, because like, if it's a moment in time kind of thing, it's usually derivative in some way.
Can you get the mic just...
Yeah.
Thank you.
If it's like a moment in time kind of thing, it's usually derivative in some way. You usually hear something that you trying to emulate in some way, like with any kind of genre boom.
What's something right now?
Like UKG, like garage kind of thing. Are people in America supposed to call it garage or garage? I've heard both sides of the coin.
I think it's like tomato here.
Right.
In the UK, it's garage.
Right.
Yeah, I can hear that. And actually, that probably can be taken a step further with like sample packs.
Yeah, for sure.
Influencing people, like what people have access to and able to make sounds quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I have nothing against sample packs. I use them. I think producers should use them.
Mm-hmm.
They're fine. Just change the samples a little bit. Just do literally anything to it, and you're fine.
Yeah. You don't feel like everything has to be timeless, because maybe there is something that is a time and a place, and it hits just right.
It's good for what it is right then.
Yeah. But what makes a timeless piece? Like, is there anything that you've come across there? Like, that's kind of like, is it like song structure? Is it like not making too crazy of chords? Like,
it's kind of everything, It's just kind of the interplay of everything. It's how it all comes together, and simplicity is a big part of it. I will say I've had a tendency to overproduce or overdo, and I know a lot of other producers probably have the same problem. And I feel like my music has gotten a lot better reining that back, like trying to accomplish the most with the fewest number of elements.
That's interesting. Do you feel like, because I was just thinking about this, do you feel like as like in your younger years of production that you feel like you got to jam everything in one track and be like,
I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, I want to do that. Yeah.
But now it's like, there will be more songs. Let's let this one kind of
be what it wants to be,
I never thought about that, but that is interesting.
A big part of producing is getting out of your own way. You got to let the song be what it wants to be. You shouldn't try to jam yourself into it too much. The song, you're just like channeling something, it's not, yes, you're making it, but the song is different from you. You shouldn't try to put yourself into it too much. You can incorporate your influences and have it be something that you like, but just honing the part of your brain that can recognize what a song wants to be and letting it be that, I think, is important.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It takes time.
Yeah, that's a skill in itself, to understand how to get out of your own way type of thing.
Yeah.
What does tour life look like for you?
I don't like being out too late. I love getting a night's sleep. Nothing better than an early show for me. Like,
when did it change? Were you ever a night owl?
I never really liked going out super late all night kind of thing, but I really like being comfortable at home, especially in the last like maybe 2 or 3 years. I just love it.
So it'll be a good early show.
Yeah, doors at like 7, over by 11, at the hotel by 11:30, asleep by midnight. It's perfect. Amazing. Maybe have one beer. Maybe. Yeah.
During the show?
After I play.
After.
Yeah. I don't drink before I play. And even if I don't, I'll have like one maybe.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I don't drink that much.
Yeah. It's not that fun.
So in terms of touring, like, what does this tour look like?
I really like just going out for like a handful of shows, like 4 to 7 shows or something like that. Spend a week or two. Then I can go back home. I can play Xbox in my room. I can be in the studio more that way too. Yeah, I do really like traveling though. I like seeing new places and eating the food and meeting new people. I do really enjoy that, but I am a man of comfort.
If you weren't making music, what would you be doing?
It's a great question. I really like to cook. I'm far too old to be a professional athlete, but I also really love boxing. I lost a bunch of weight through boxing, and I'm a big fan of the sport. Maybe if I started as a child, being a professional boxer would be cool.
What do you like about boxing?
It's the oldest sport in the world, basically.
Right, because it was just fisticuffs.
Yeah, like
that's just what we did.
Yeah. There's such an interesting history behind it. It's a worldwide sport. You being a fan of the sport, you end up learning a lot about different cultures, which I think is really interesting.
Like people's like heritage coming from like what their technique might be or like their mindset type of thing.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody like reps their flags super hard, and I'm such a nerd. I like reading into it. So like if there's a boxer I like, I'll go to his Wikipedia page and read everything about him, which will make me read everything about Kyrgyzstan or whatever country it could be, you know?
Right. Like that's a country? What?
Yeah.
Dude, crazy. No.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of it until I lost weight through it, though, honestly. I don't know what it was, but it was a great outlet for me mentally, and I was never into sports really at all prior to that. And yeah, I don't know. I just like it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious. I had a friend who was like a martial arts guy, like specifically in striking, and he was like, I feel like you would be good. And we were talking before this, like you're tall, lanky, probably have good reach, so it probably, makes sense for your body type. I've kind of wanted to do boxing too.
Do it, please do it.
So what would be like the first thing to get into? Like, do I get like a punching bag and just kind of like start figuring out like a little flow? Like, do I go to a gym and just like start picking fights with people? Like,
definitely don't do that. Shadow boxing is a good place to start. There's plenty of like good YouTube tutorials. If you don't want to necessarily spend any money on it yet, you can just at home follow along, see if you like it, kind of go from there. Having some kind of a coach is helpful. I've gone through a couple different like short-term coaching situations in the past at different gyms. Now I just work out at home because I feel like I'm not trying to take it seriously, so I have the fundamentals to just good exercise, basically.
So for you, it's mostly exercise. Is there any competitive, like, do you spar?
I play VR boxing, which is actually super realistic.
Dude.
Yeah, super fun. You're like, and it's online, so you're like fighting a real person, but it's virtual, so.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
You seem like a peaceful kind of guy. Like, I feel like that reflects through your music. Do you feel like have you fought anyone in real life?
I grew up I did wrestling when I was in high school.
Okay. And
karate in elementary school and college.
Okay, so like martial arts or like physical contact, whatever, you know what I'm like, those types of sports, like you have dabbled.
I like it. Yeah, I like them for sure, but I always was into them just out of self-defense. You want to, I feel like with martial arts and like combat stuff, you want to learn them to not have to use them. It's like last resort kind of thing always.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I always hear.
Yeah.
Interesting. The VR stuff, that sounds great. Honestly, that sounds like
much fun. That might be a good place to start, actually.
I do want to get into VR. One of my friends has the VR golf.
Yeah.
And that shit was tranquil. Like, I was just like, actually, it wasn't even fully golf. It was just like mini putt.
Yeah. No,
just putting.
Yeah, right. I can't recommend it enough, honestly. VR stuff is super fun. There's any number of games, sports games, non-sports games. There's VR CDJs. Pioneer makes.
Dude, you could learn like that.
I did for a little bit. It's kind of expensive, but
is it like when you're grabbing a knob? Does it like it doesn't feel like you're grabbing it.
Yeah,
right?
you're using a controller and you click the button and then you know what I mean. It doesn't feel exactly the same, but conceptually it's there, and you can like load your own tracks into it and stuff. And
that's actually wild.
Yeah,
dude, VR. There's gonna be so many purposes for it and like that in the future, but. Yeah, that's really cool. Have you ever seen any of the things where it's like you're in VR, but then there's like you can like bring a screen, like you're sitting at your desk, but then you can like add an extra desktop screen or like different things that aren't really in reality, but like can be simulated in VR.
Yeah, so I think that's technically augmented reality.
Shit.
And the new, the Quest 3 or whatever has that. It's pretty cool. In the boxing game I play, there's an option to turn off the in-game environment and have it be like the room that you're actually in. So it's like you're fighting somebody in the room that you're in.
How did you get in my space?
Yeah.
You're like simulating a break-in or something.
Yeah, right.
This guy's here. I gotta fuck him up. If someone, God forbid, broke into your house, do you have a weapon?
I actually don't know. I don't think I do. A kitchen knife, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
What would you go for? Yeah, I don't know. I got like a stick.
That's good. I should get a stick.
I might have more. You never know, actually. I'm not about to show my cards.
Yeah,
I got more than that. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so
I could use a guitar, maybe.
Dude, use the guitar. Yeah, those things are heavy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. So I think we did good with the questions. We had a lot of random tidbits. Maybe there's something in there that people didn't know about you. Hopefully. Yeah. I asked you what your first concert was, but I also like to ask like what the game changer concert, like your favorite concert that you've ever been to, like maybe one that really inspired you. Yeah.
I would say I saw Bon Iver in Duluth, Minnesota last summer. I think it was last summer, yeah. And just amazing. He cried on stage. It was beautiful. He cried, I cried, everybody cried.
Everybody's crying. A good cry? Fuck.
Yeah.
So good.
Thousands of people having a good cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need that.
No.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of him, and just he sounded even better live than he does on the record. So
really,
yeah.
He's one of those guys that like is on a different level.
Seriously,
that's really cool.
He's tapped into something that not everybody is. You know.
Did you walk away with that or from that experience, like with any specific intentions, like that could be used in your music? You're like, oh, I got to do more of that, or like,
yeah. Actually, I made a song I mean, I had to like fly home to LA because I was like on a trip with some friends of mine for that. But when I got home, I made one song specifically, still being like super excited about how good that show was, and I was just like had to get it out. And it's not out, so this is also like kind of a moot point even talking about it, but it's cool. I think
it's gonna be cool. Yeah,
I promise it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you live in LA, so like there's probably so many good concerts out there too. Like
there is. I don't leave my house that much.
You don't do you have like a spot out there?
Yeah, there's Scenario, which is like the new iteration of Low End Theory.
Mm-hmm.
It's run by the same guy, Daddy Kev. It's every Wednesday. It's free.
Oh, sick.
Every kind of music that you could imagine, from like jazz to footwork to dubstep to lo-fi.
Footwork makes its way out there.
Dude, the footwork scene in LA is actually like starting to pop up.
Really?
Yeah.
Is LA footwork different than like Chicago footwork?
They bring a lot of Chicago people out there. Like Manny plays there frequently.
I wish I was like more knowledgeable. Dude, we got to get a footwork guy on. We had someone break it down, like footwork versus juke versus like two-step maybe. I don't know, but like it wasn't two-step. But yeah, I'd love to get more involved or just like know more about the scene.
I just got into it as a genre maybe in the last year or so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of my favorite like electronic genres to listen to now. It's just the percussive patterns are so unlike any other music.
Yeah,
so
for sure. I'm like basically at surface level, like I listen to DJ Rashad.
Yeah.
All right,
That's how I got into it. That's a great place to start.
I think it's a good place to start. I got to dive a little bit deep. If you got any recommendations,
DJ Manny is my favorite footwork guy these days. He worked with Rashad. He's like a legend himself, obviously, but he is like,
he's the guy.
He does stuff that's maybe a little more melodic, which appeals to me personally. It's just like my sensibilities, what I like listening to. Yeah. He did a remix for Kalila last year.
Okay.
It was my number one played song last year on Spotify. It was so good. Nice.
Something gets put on repeat and I don't realize my Spotify's playing, and then it just messes up my whole like replay or whatever it's called. You're wrapped, and I'm just like, man, I wish I knew what I actually listened to the most of. I mean, it gives you some other metrics, but
me and my friends listen to like poop rap as a joke.
What is that? Like it's actually rapping about poop?
There's this guy on Spotify named Poopy Man.
Okay.
Just raps about poop. He has a bunch of songs. It's all about poop.
Fire.
It's funny. But
I think poop is funny.
It is funny.
No, like
you can't say it's not.
I don't know if everybody has the same like poop humor sense that I guess me and you have, at least.
And they're wrong.
Yeah, they're definitely wrong. But I don't know why it's so funny.
Yeah. It's definitely gonna make its way into my Wrapped.
You're like scared. You're like, what are you listening to? You're like, dude, nothing. I didn't even listen to anything. It's
not
crazy.
Poopy Man, dude.
Yeah. All right, guys, go check out Poopy Man. So quickly before we get out of here, I used to ask people like, where can you find you? You know, go look up Shrimpnose. We'll put the links.
You'll find it.
Yeah,
it's easy enough to find.
Yeah. And then, unless you had some really bizarre username that was like not your name or something, which do you now? I have to ask.
I think we're good.
Okay, we're good. But any shout outs to like anyone that was pivotal in your career, just like maybe a homie. Yeah.
Typey, mentioned him earlier. Cram, our group. The whole Minneapolis scene, the whole LA scene. The labels I've worked with, Friends of Friends, Dome of Doom, Network, Blue Note, just everybody, I guess, that's supported me along the way.
Yeah, hell yeah. Dude, well, thank you so much for coming through. I know that, like, I feel like we could legitimately have done, like, another whole one of these.
Dude, yeah, this was super fun, super easy.
Dude, thank you for coming through, man.
Much appreciated.
Yeah. But we got a show to get to at Shuba's. Yeah. So thank you guys for listening if you made it this far, and we'll catch you next time. Yo, what's up, guys? This is your host, Jerry. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like and subscribe. If there's someone you'd like to see on the show, leave a comment below. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, we'd appreciate it if you leave a review and hit that 5-star rating. Thank you for your support, and we'll catch you on the next one.